Welcome to another one of those special YouTube episodes that I record every now and then. This one is number 29, and it focuses once more on issues relevant to Armenian matters. Tomorrow, Thursday, the 27th of January 2022, the United Kingdom commemorates Holocaust Memorial Day. Now, this event, HMD as it is known more popularly, marks the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau, which was the largest Nazi death camp. And every year, on this day, Holocaust Memorial Day takes place. This year, the theme that has been chosen is one day. And I will put a link in the description box, which will explain, amongst other things, the reason, the background to this theme, one day. Is it just a snapshot of history? Is it one day in history? What is it exactly? It will be explained in the website of a Holocaust Memorial Day. Now, tomorrow, there will be events all across the United Kingdom, all across England. There will be one here at 11 a.m. in London, as well at the Assembly. And the hashtag for that is Light the Darkness, hence the image with the candles behind me today. And this event, Holocaust Memorial Day, will of course commemorate the heinous crimes committed during HaShoah, the Holocaust, but it will also recall the victims and the events of genocide in Cambodia, in Rwanda, in Bosnia, and in Darfur. So my question today is, where is the Armenian genocide in the midst of this commemorative event? Now, before I go a little bit more into that, let me also go back just 1 week. On the 20th of January this month, by consensus, the United Nations adopted Holocaust denial resolution, and the Israeli delegate at the UN was Gilad Erdan. Now, what I will also do is share with you, again in the description box, another link, a second one, which is focused on this resolution adopted by the UN General Assembly on the 20th of January. But in order to give you an idea, if you don't have the time to go and read the article, or if you just want a bird's eye view, let me basically read just a few bullet points that I have on the page here in front of me of this resolution and the distortion or denial of the Holocaust is listed as how. It says that the resolution lists distortion or denial of the Holocaust as 1, intentional efforts to excuse or minimize the impact of the Holocaust or its principal elements, including collaborators and allies of Nazi Germany. 2, gross minimization of the number of the victims of the Holocaust in contradiction to reliable sources. 3, attempts to blame the Jews for causing their own genocide. 4, statements that cast the Holocaust as a positive historical event. And 5, attempts to blur the responsibility for the establishment of concentration and death camps devised and operated by Nazi Germany by putting blame on other nations or ethnic groups. Now, this is basically the nub of this UN resolution, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, was co-sponsored by Israel and Germany. And this basically fits in quite well with the commemorative events that will take place tomorrow for Holocaust Memorial Day 2022, with the theme One Day and with the hashtag Light the Darkness. But as I said earlier, in all the commemorative moments for Holocaust Memorial Day, I wonder, where is the Armenian genocide that took place in 1915? Now, let me remind you of a couple of little facts before I go into my own personal history. Raphael Lemkin is a Polish Jewish lawyer who coined the term genocide with two mass slaughters in mind: the Armenian people and the Holocaust. Moreover, bringing the situation and the event more concretely to the UK, Sir Winston Churchill at the time referred also to the extermination of the Armenians as a Holocaust. And as of 2022, this year, governments and parliaments in 33 countries, including the United States, Germany, France, Italy, Canada, Russia, Switzerland, Brazil, Cyprus, Lebanon, have all formally recognized the Armenian genocide. So why is it that when there is some understanding, some recognition of the Armenian experience during World War I, why is it that Holocaust Memorial Day has consistently throughout its history refused to acknowledge or accept to include the Armenian genocide as one example of an act of genocide? And why is it, for that matter, having just told you about the 33 countries or parliaments, why is it that the UK Parliament has steadfastly refused to recognize the genocide? I'm not capable to answer that question because there are different views, and I'm not in the head of the politicians and the people who decide these things at the highest level. But I know enough from my experience when I was running and leading the campaign for recognition of the Armenian genocide, CRAG, in the United Kingdom quite a few years ago. And when I was lobbying Parliament and the various people who were involved in Holocaust Memorial Day to include the Armenian genocide in their commemorative event, let alone for the House of Commons to adopt a resolution recognizing this genocide, I've come across a lot of conversations which basically have made me think, why, again, does the UK government, Her Majesty's government, steadfastly, resolutely refuse to contemplate, to study the possibility of recognizing the Armenian genocide, or simply remembering the Armenian people in its Holocaust Memorial Day commemorative events? Why is it that when the International Association of Genocide Scholars, when the Holocaust body, when so many other scholars and experts and historians have time and time again said that this happened, and there is more than abundant archival evidence for that, why is it that this country, our country, refuses to do so? Now, some people have said, and this is the kind of political equivocation that I find not only risible, but rather contemptible. Some people have said, some politicians have said, oh, well, there isn't sufficient evidence to prove the genocide did take place. Excuse me? There are books upon books upon books upon books of evidence about this genocide. There are others who have said, oh, well, the Genocide Convention of 1948 does not fully subscribe to the Armenian experience. And again, I say, excuse me, lawyers upon lawyers upon lawyers, historians upon historians, politicians upon politicians worldwide have said that the Armenian experience fits very snugly, very well into the 1948 convention. At least one, if not more than one, of the 5 criteria of that convention. In fact, I just told you, Raphael Lemkin himself coined the word genocide, relying on the Holocaust, but also on the Armenian experience. Others have said, you know what, the United Kingdom government is extremely careful not to upset Turkey, particularly these days an irascible president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, by recognizing the genocide and therefore upsetting Turkey and getting relations souring between Turkey and the United Kingdom. Well, the answer to that is also very simple, and there is example upon example of that. Countries, major countries, France, Germany, Switzerland, United States, even under the Biden administration, have formally recognized the genocide. And Turkey, yes, the politicians, those who are denialists, who do not want to accept that a former Turkish regime could have done what it did in terms of crimes against humanity. Yes, they humped and hawed, they were upset, they recalled ambassadors for a while, and then guess what? Relations went back to normal after a while. What is it that makes the United Kingdom an exception in terms of this course of events? It is possible that Turkey would be upset. It is possible that relations might tense up a bit. But then, at the end of the day, relations are based on interests. They're not based on emotions. And therefore, things will start running smoothly, or as smoothly as possible again. So I just wonder, where is the hang-up? Where is the hiccup? Or is it that the government here does not think it needs to bother about the veracity of this Armenian experience and says that, oh, well, there are only about, I don't know, 10, 12,000 Armenians in England. They're not a lobbying political force. They cannot really make much noise. They're not really that influential in the country. So if we upset them, it's better to upset them than to upset any other country or community. If that is what we're doing, then once again, as I've said for Partygate, when I've commented on that in my written intuitive reactions, the question is not to find excuses. The question is to have integrity and to have moral probity. So when Holocaust Memorial Day gets together, the main event tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., and you can follow it online, virtually, or the other various events in which I have in the past very minimally, very minimally been allowed to participate when I was running CRAG, by either saying a few words at a town hall here or a meeting there, or the apex of my achievements was when I managed many years ago to ensure that the then Armenian primate for the United Kingdom and Ireland, Archbishop Nathan Hovhannisyan, was invited to be one of the people to walk up and light a candle in memory of the Armenian people, his people, in the context of all those from the Holocaust to the other genocides who have suffered during various historical times. Light the darkness, Archbishop Nathan did it once, and that was the pinnacle of what we succeeded to do on a national level. We got recognitions in Wales, and we are proud and grateful for that. We have been involved with memorial events in Wales. We got recognition in Scotland. We were involved with memorial events in Scotland. But in England and on a national level, this has been blocked. Politically or otherwise, I'm no longer, as I grow older, I'm no longer sure how to reason it out. But blocked we are. And I would have thought that Holocaust Memorial Day, which is not a political event par excellence, but it is more of an event that basically brings out our humanity, our empathy with others, our solidarity with the suffering of other peoples, that we will have thought, you know what? Over 1 million people. The textbooks say 1.5 million. I'm going to be very conservative. Over 1 million Armenians died under cover of World War I. Will it not have been a gesture for Holocaust Memorial Day, for the organizers, be they government officials or people involved with the event, to say, you know what? Let us invite the Armenians. Let us acknowledge their suffering, and let us ask them to light the darkness alongside all other victims of genocide. This would have been my prayer. This would have been my wish today. So, to all those who will be remembered, to all those who suffered across various times in history, from the heinous events of the Holocaust, all the way to all other chapters of genocide. Sir Winston Churchill called the Armenian genocide Holocaust. So did, by the way, the late Robert Fisk, who was one of the most prolific writers on this chapter. May they all rest in peace. And may this commemorative event be a light unto nations. All the best to you.